Live from tape, pre-recorded at our studios in Austin, Texas and Portland, Oregon, it's Syndicated with Lesley and Ben. Hey everyone, I'm the Ben of that.
And I'm the Lesley. This is a twice monthly podcast about television, genre, and storytelling in which we watch an episode of a show and explore the history of television one episode at a time.
And folks, for this episode, we are bringing back somebody not just from the previous season of Syndicated with Lesley and Ben, but from the previous fucking episode of Syndicated with Lesley and Ben. Folks, it's Jeff Barton. Jeff, hello.
Hello, 2 in a row.
2 in a row. Yeah, not only are you our first repeat guest, you're our only repeat guest, and we just invited you right back. You asked, and no one else volunteered, so here you are.
And we love you.
We need to get the Champas here by Jadakiss as a drop, and we'll just put it in right here.
Now we do have other guests lined up. We just had some scheduling whoopsies. So it was easiest to get Jeff back here in the studio, and Jeff has brought for us a show I presume you enjoy. Maybe you hate this show.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Workaholics, because when Ben messaged me about coming back on the show, my initial pitch was your pretty face is going to hell, and he had no idea what I was talking about. So my counter proposal, when he asked for something that anyone would have heard of, was the episode of Workaholics where they try to network at the gathering of the Juggalos. And that's where we are now.
My stipulation for this show, the rules that Lesley and I set up last year, were that we don't have to have seen the show in any respect. We don't have to have watched it in its entirety. We don't even have to have watched a single episode. There's like now a sub-stipulation. I have to have heard of the show.
You've never heard of Workaholics?
I had never heard of Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell.
Oh.
Which is an Adult Swim show, I'm told.
Oh.
I've only heard of it because a reader of my webcomic about the office that runs hell was like, hey, did you know that there is an Adult Swim show about an office in hell? And I was like, no, should I be calling my lawyers? And then I watched it and was like, oh yeah, okay, this is what my comic would be if
you had a television budget.
If I had a television budget, but also if it was like way more juvenile and there were no women present.
I can boost up my patronage on patreon.com if that'll help you get to television status.
And that's the thing too, is that everything's been written before. Everybody's said everything before. It's your specific story that's important.
Yeah. The afterlife is a bureaucracy, a popular concept. The Good Place just took it. But of course, as we know, Hell Inc. does it best.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That being said, yeah, if you're just now tuning in, we're actually talking about Workaholics, a 7-season show about 3 burnout college students who tried to maintain their party lifestyle in the drudgery of a modern cubicle-clogged office. Ostensibly, our heroes work for a telecom company called Telemericorp, although in this episode that we watched today, that doesn't really come up, and I suspect, Jeff, you're welcome to confirm this for me or not, it doesn't matter?
Yeah, what their job is kind of never matters. It's just it's almost like a framing device for why these dudes that kind of hate their like day-to-day existence are just trying to maintain.
Suck?
What?
Does telecom suck?
Yeah, it turns out working at telecoms is bad and not fun.
Wild. Not as bad as telemarketing, but nothing with tele is good.
You know what? I think part of their job might be telemarketing. I can't remember. They spend so little time in the office, and I haven't watched the full series in a while.
Entirely fair. Yeah, I was wondering because like everything else we've covered has been so specifically about the job, whether it's making entertainment or working at a hospital or working retail, that I kind of got the idea that all it matters is that they're in an office, in the same way that the core conceit of the office is all that, like paper comes up in the office, but they're in an office. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's it's very much just there to establish that they are office drones and they hate it, and that the rest of their life is essentially rebelling against that existence.
Hell yeah, fuck the power.
Yeah, essentially, their life is what I feared mine could become when I was in university trying to figure out how I was going to get money later.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get to that. Let's circle back around to that point in a moment. Lesley, do you want to take the wheel for a second
Sure.
while I look over my resume?
So as we know, the TelAmericorp setting doesn't matter as much, but regardless, our three workaholics are Adam Devine as Adam DeMamp. Blake Anderson plays the role of Blake Henderson. Anders Holm plays Anders Durs Holmvik. And the cast features Jillian Bell as Jillian Belk, among others. You can stop me.
That one's my
if you
favorite lazy
see
change
a
of their
pattern
name.
here. The most lazy. The most lazy.
One character.
It's almost as if this were a vanity project, to be honest.
I mean, nothing wrong with that. Plenty of vanity projects are good.
We love a vanity project.
The show also features Eric Griffin as fellow coworker Montez Walker, who breaks the pattern. The naming convention's gone. With Maribeth Monroe as Alice Murphy, who doesn't appear in this episode, and Kyle Newacek as Carl Hevacek, who slightly restores the pattern, but it doesn't matter anymore because that's the end of the cast.
Oh yeah, and the three leads that were mentioned earlier actually started in an LA-based comedy troupe called Mail Order Comedy. I don't know what else they've done, if anything.
That's the thing, is like not much. Remember how we were talking about MASH and it was like it's weird to list people's credits because everyone just did MASH?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of listing Alan Alda's other credits? He's from MASH.
He's from MASH.
Like,
this is kind of that. Well, this is more that, I think.
I mean, it helps that the show ended like 4 years ago. Like,
that is true.
Everyone involved has plenty of time to do like the second wind of their career. Much in the hey, look, we'll be talking about 30 Rock later this season. You know, Baldwin like did not start doing TV. He was a leading man in the 80s and 90s. And
true.
Then he started
that
doing
is very
TV.
True.
You know, like the not everybody gets their second sitcom right after their first one. Sometimes you have to wait like 10 years or so. Or you can just be Tina Fey and keep making them. And honestly, good for her.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yeah, no, but I was searching through everyone's filmography, and it's kind of hard to find other credits for these people because they're in a lot of like other Comedy Central like pilots, or you know, or short run shows, or they'll like guest on another sitcom.
Right.
or whatever, but like no one else has had like another lead role, with the exception of Adam Devine, who is presently on the greatest television show of all time, The Righteous Gemstones.
Yes.
A show that I have recommended to you, Lesley, multiple times because I love it, and it features Walton Goggins, the greatest actor of all time.
He is the greatest actor of all time. Yeah. It's true.
John Goodman's there. It's a blast.
It's a good old time.
And on that show, he plays the broy youth pastor, youngest brother of the Gemstone family. In his house, I imagine, is the ambition of this character. His giant, huge mini mansion. Actually, it's a straight up mansion on the Gemstone property. Is like filled with arcade cabinets and like jet skis and like.
Did you have to say jet skis? It's too soon.
Oh. We'll find out in season 2.
Yep.
You've been watching Loki, Jeff?
No, I have not. I've actually not watched a Marvel thing since Black Panther.
Do they not have Disney up in Canada?
No, we banned it.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, the Alberta rat ban was extended to mice.
That's fair.
My God.
Oh, that means you all avoided Skywalker. Never mind. Canada did a good thing.
Dear Lord. All right. Back on track. We can't forget that Blake Anderson was also on Woke. the 2020 TV series, which was centered around New Girl's Lamore
I
Morris.
bring that up. Incidentally, he was also on that Voltron show that everyone liked as a voice actor for like 8 episodes.
Ah, yes.
8 episodes, that's like a season. So I assume he was on a significant chunk of that. And I bring that up because I kept seeing endless ads when we were watching Fargo on Hulu for woke. And I just want to say it looked bad. It looked real bad.
Yeah.
This is the first I've ever heard of that
show. It's like a cartoonist who like. I think the three of us might be disqualified to discuss this show's premise. But it's like a cartoonist who suffers like I think he like a concussion or something, and like when he like wakes up, like his cartoons come to life, or something, or he starts seeing like wall art like talking to him and whatnot, and like it takes the metaphor of wokeness as in like woke culture and tries to make it literal, and it looks like that might have been a botched metaphor, and maybe that the show was bad.
That metaphor does not really land for me in that explanation. So, and also I hate the trope of the thing they draw comes to life.
Yeah.
Wow. Not a fan of Chalk Zone?
Oh well.
I don't know what that is either.
There's an age gap here. It's an old Nickelodeon show.
All right.
Anyway, I mentioned that just because I repeatedly saw commercials for that on Hulu, and I saw it like that looks real bad, and also I don't think that metaphor works. Anyway,
it sure does not sound like it.
Well, I don't think it got renewed, so everyone's fine. Last but not least, the episode that we watched today was called Straight Up Juggos. A very 2011 episode, couldn't get to the end of the sentence. A very 2011 episode in which Blake, Adam, and Anders, in order to avoid an awkward encounter at a networking mixer with their coworker Jillian, set her up on a blind date with a juggalo. That works fine for the first half of the episode, but the gang quickly has to mount a rescue mission. So, Jeff, I've got a key and critical question for you. Why Workaholics?
I mean, as we mentioned earlier, because you shot down your pretty face is going to hell. But also, like, it is it's a very fun show that is essentially me looking into a potential future where I wasn't able to fall ass backwards into drawing comics and instead had to go get a job in an office where I wished I was dead all the time, and would then spend my non-work time trying to feel anything.
It's so fun for me that this is a hypothetical for you.
Yeah, well, I was a teacher for a while, which was not better.
No, I would imagine not.
No, it was kind of like an office job, but instead of like the soul grinding boredom, you're just having like 10% of a panic attack for like 6 hours a day, and then still at work for another 8.
That was also my experience with well, I guess all grade levels, but let's say high school. I don't know what grades did you teach?
7, 8, and 9 social studies, which I don't know if that's a subject in the U.S.
It is. I took social studies.
Okay.
It was just called straight up history when I went to middle school, but it was social studies in high school.
Yeah, it's just like economics, history, and geography rolled into one, and in Canada, they're just like that for everything.
Oh, I guess to be clear, the way it's taught in the United States, there's quotation marks around social studies.
Wait, what?
It's social studies.
I mean, it's social studies.
The American education system is lacking. That's the joke. We don't teach people how our government works. That's all I'm getting at.
That's it. That's the joke.
So this is totally like an aside here, but there is an entire year, which is grade 9. Of Canadian social studies, which is just how the government works.
Yeah, civics.
Wow.
It is.
Civics,
It is the worst thing I have ever taught. because it was the only time when I was as interested as the students were.
Oh, so not.
It's so boring.
Well,
And we have these like big exams in grade 6, 9, and 12 that are like provincial government exams.
Right, as mentioned in Harry Potter.
And so yeah, it's actually
Oh my
it's
God.
based on the British system.
I was right.
But so because of that, I wasn't allowed to deviate from the guidelines at all. So I had to just every day do this.
Just
that was what I did for teaching grade 9 was just like, all right, it's this day, you do this activity. Well, it only took 20 minutes. What do I do for the rest of the block? Nothing. You're not allowed to go ahead.
Oh God. So the way we
Cool.
treat like SATs here, where it's like, do not
Yeah.
stop here, sit on your hands until we're ready to move on to the next section or whatever.
Yeah.
Ugh, terrifying.
But like every day. It's great.
No, that sounds like a nightmare. Are you familiar with the just because Danny McBride and Walton Goggins haven't come up? Are you familiar with the television show Vice Principals?
Yeah, I watched the first season, and then about halfway through the second season, I was like, you know what? This is too real for me.
Okay.
This is too soon to being a teacher. I can't handle
I was wondering,
this.
because boy howdy does that dig into the drudgery of teaching. Phenomenal show, the obvious predecessor to The Righteous Gemstones, based purely off of the cast. And E.D. Patterson's presence, who is also a member of the cast. I don't know why I phrased it like that at all. It's funny to me that this is your alternate future that you're scared of, because this show is my past. And my present.
This show is your
yeah,
present?
I mean,
This is
I'm
your
not
present
in an
right now?
office anymore, because no one's in an office well, I mean, we're fortunate if we're not in an office anymore. But like, I've had coworkers who look like Blake Anderson. I've had halls of those cubicles. I've had days where I'm only on the paper cutter, like Anders is at the beginning of this episode. This job reminds me the most of jobs I've had, which are all of them. All of my jobs have been this job, and they are exactly as soul-crushing as you think they are. And if anybody from work is listening, not my current job, though. My current job fulfills me.
So I actually do have something to say about this, in that I have previously in my career worked at jobs that are very similar to this. However, I have been extremely fortunate in that I kind of got on the startup train a while ago, and my last 3 jobs have all been for startups, which is its own special kind of hell, but not exactly the kind of hell that is being portrayed in this show.
Yeah, it's a slightly different environment. There are
except for my current job. My current job fulfills me.
Yeah, no, I've had plenty of gigs like this where it's just like, it doesn't matter what we do. I'm not high up enough that I'm making any decisions, or that anybody's asking me for my feedback or input. I just do the paper-based task that I am meant to do, and then I go home and I do all my other dumb bullshit. Like, the only exception with my current job, which I will never state what it is that every once in a while they ask me for my opinion. Yeah, so...
Did you guys think this episode was tight butthole?
God.
So I have a neighbor who is a very dear friend of mine, and she constantly says that stuff is tight butthole, but she's never seen this show. And I told her I was going to be watching this episode of the show for this podcast, and she'd never heard of it. She didn't know anything about it. But as soon as the guy was like, "It's tight butthole," I was like, "What the fuck?" That's like, I hear that at least 20 times a day in my real life.
Truly,
normally.
This new era's, that's what she said, that it's just permeated the culture, even if you've never watched The Office.
It's just tight butthole.
But yeah. I consider myself a relatively... Huh?
Come on,
I
Ben.
consider myself a relatively
Come on,
crude
Ben.
individual. For some reason, this
Ben.
is a step too
Ben.
far for me.
Ben.
Ben, this is very loose butthole of you.
All right, fine. All right, this
It's so loose
that's Syndicated
butthole
with
of you,
Lesley
Ben.
and Ben, a very tight butthole podcast.
That's the stinger
Sure.
right there. This podcast.
Now, Lesley,
is
we've never
tight
recorded an
butthole.
ad for this one. We could. All right, let's talk about Workaholics. Yeah, so as I was saying, this reminds me of like every job I've had. It kind of reminds me of my current job. I have been in like plenty of like, and again, nothing wrong with my current job. I've been in enough like kind of dead end jobs where I show up, I do my job, I make my money, and I leave. No, there's no one ever tells me that I could, you could really make it here, and no one ever asked me for my opinion or anything like that. I just show up, I make my money, and I leave. And there's cubicles, and there's people that I half know, and I mostly don't know their last names, and there's email chains, and there's paper cutters, and there's break rooms full of OSHA posters. Well, every break room should have OSHA posters, no matter where you work. But like, of everything we've covered, look, I'm not a doctor. I've never worked for a catering team. I don't write for SNL. What else have we covered? I've never worked retail, etc. But I've done this.
But you've done this.
And I've done this for years. And if I go over to documents on my computer right now and I open Hamlin_resume.docs, it's nothing but this. It's what I did.
Nothing but
this.
It's
what I did in high school. It's what I did in college. It's what I did after I graduated. Did I get a career in my field? No, I'm a podcaster and I work office jobs in the meantime.
It's nothing but tight butthole all the way down.
Oh, and bosses who don't know my name. That's another thing.
And bosses what about, who don't know your name.
That guy over there? Hi, sir. I'm Ben. We actually have met before. It's fine.
I see you every day.
I see you, sir.
At work?
Yeah, I sat behind you in history class.
Anyway, so yeah, highly relatable. This show is 2011 as shit.
Yeah, it is.
Lesley, I have a feeling that you and I are maybe of similar opinion of this program.
Very deeply.
Shall you or
very
shall
deeply. In that you mentioned that is, I think that you shall, because I think that you have a better grasp of how to explain how terminally 2011 is exactly.
The humor has like a certain level of South Parky to it. And that's not always a bad thing, but sometimes it is. But like look, this is a stoner comedy. I don't want to alarm anyone. But it has like, it gives off and radiates outward intense 2011 Comedy Central energy. It is of an era.
It is of an era.
Both in its jokes, the way it's formatted, the budget. This feels like a very low budget show, I'm willing to guess. Based on the fact that it had like inconsistent season lengths, and other stuff like that. This feels like a very cheap show, and that's not always a bad thing. I mean, some of my favorite like television comedies were cheap as shit. Some of my favorite television comedies were cheap as shit, and from this network in this time period. Review with Andy Daly, Nathan for You. I like Broad City, which came out like
a lot of people.
Yeah, Broad City, which came out 2-3 years later, and has.
I think so. It was very huge around that time in the teens, in the mid-teens, I would say.
Comedy Central basically has a very successful run of finding young comedians who haven't done a previous thing yet, with exception, obviously, and then giving them carte blanche to make what they want, and it producing stuff like this, stuff like Drunk History, stuff like the Eric Andre Show, stuff like Broad City. I'm not accusing Eric Andre of being young, but you know what I mean.
Drunk History started
sure,
on
but
YouTube,
they bought up and they upgraded its budget. Yeah,
fair. That's very fair. That's fair.
And obviously, Andy Daly had been around for for years prior as well. But like, I mean, Nathan for you was like Nathan Fielder's big break, right? He didn't do anything prior to that.
Yeah, it was. No, I don't think so. Well, I would have to
Yeah.
look into it, but
And
I
it
don't
just
think
feels
so.
interesting in contrast with everything else we've covered, where like, especially when I do the credits for these people, I always say like, this person started off on Saturday Night Live, or this person is from a comedy duo with their former, this is their third sitcom of blank blank blank. Whereas it's like, these are a bunch of brand new people. Adam Devine at the beginning of this show is my age. He is.
So like
Really?
19?
I'm 27.
Stop it.
Um,
My
and like
God.
I am near certain that if this came out like 10 years earlier, he was born in like 83. So he's essentially more or less my age.
If he was born in 83, he
When
would be my age.
when the show
now.
came out. Yeah.
To be fair.
And
he would
currently
currently
38,
be 38 years old.
27, 28 when the show started.
My God, yeah, because 2011
Mhm.
was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's so
Sure
interesting that
was.
like, yeah,
Sure was.
yeah, it's so interesting that we've covered like a lot of shows that like it's been Blank's second sitcom. It's been like, you know, um, things like 30 Rock are such an obvious spin-off of Saturday Night Live,
Mm.
both because it's about making Saturday Night
Yeah,
Live and
yeah.
because it's Tina Fey, and stuff like that. And it's just so
Mhm.
weird to see like, yeah, no, this show is just like a bunch of young punks making like a really low budget television show for
Yeah.
Comedy Central. This is also incidentally the first Comedy Central show we've covered. So, I'm sure like that's a factor. Is that like,
Oh, yeah, good point. That's
anything
a good
that
point. I hadn't thought
NBC,
about that.
ABC, CBS produces costs way more than this. Like for example, like this show is not made with
Right.
there's no sets, no television sets. This, I presume, that's filmed in a real office park or a real office building.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Because like the way it's
Yeah.
shot,
Mhm.
it looks so much like The Office with no money
Absolutely, yeah.
that I think that is
Oh,
just like a real
yeah.
office
Yeah, you're
park.
right. You're right.
Their house, I think, is just a house.
Their house is their house.
Yeah, that checks out.
Apparently, two of the cast members, I'm blanking on which ones, just lived there, because they assumed the show was going to fold, so they didn't want to like go out and get new living arrangements. So they just like lived in that home, and then like shot in the living room.
Wow.
So like there's something,
And that's our imitated
so I want to be clear,
love.
when I call the show cheap, I'm not like, that's not a complaint or a criticism in any way. There's something kind of like guerrilla about it, in that it's taking advantage of real environments. It's clearly, I mean, look, when we get to the actual gathering of the Juggalos, like that is not I know what the gathering of the Juggalos looks like, and it doesn't look that tiny.
It does not look anything like that. What do you want to get into this? Do you want to have a discussion about this plot point about the Juggalos?
One thing that feels very 2011 about it is that the Juggalos.
Do we want to get into the Juggalos?
Well, not like the music. I don't really want to get into, no, but all solidarity with our comrades, the anti-fascist gang known as the Juggalos.
That is actually
The
my
Juggalos.
main note
Please,
about this episode.
Please, this is our main
Jeff,
note
go now.
too.
I feel like I've been talking for a bit. Please.
Is that if this episode was made now, it would be completely different, because Juggalos have stopped being the cultural punching bag that they were for a long time, and have become just this thing that is viewed as like, no, these are just people who are like authentically into a thing and are also way better at keeping Nazis out of their subgroup than it seems like anybody else is.
All solidarity with our
So-
Antifa comrades, the Juggalos. I wasn't kidding.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. Ben, what was it that you had made a note of? What was
Sure.
it that you had put in your notes
It is
about this?
it is
feels
absolutely
prevalent
more
right
or
now.
less what Jeff just said, which is that, quote, Here's just my note in its entirety. Burners, furries, and juggalos, why were we so mean to them?
That was honestly, I have to be honest with you both. As I was watching this episode, it was difficult for me to get past the juggalo slander to get to the larger points of the episode, just because we have now transcended that point. It's 10 years in the future from when this aired. Okay, this episode aired in 2011. It's now 2021. We have absolutely seen the error of our ways. And I cannot say enough that the juggalos were misrepresented and done so dirty in this episode. And I say this as somebody who is not necessarily a juggalo. I'm not a juggalo. I don't
care about the ICP.
Gathering. I have not listened to an ICP album since The Great Malenko when I was in high school. We won't talk about it. Don't worry about it. The point is that I am, for all intents and purposes, a normie in the world of juggalos, and I felt really bad for juggalos when I watched this episode.
Especially the closing line, like the very last line of the show is so savage. I think it calls them like diarrhea people.
Yes, diarrhea people. That's what it says. Oh yes. Well, what it was is it was like juggalos are exactly what we expected.
Yeah, they're who we thought they were. People. They're horrible diarrhea people. End credits.
And I was just like,
yeah, while the juggalo is beating up the wheelchair guy.
I was so upset. I have to say, I was personally so upset. Like, juggalos are fine. Juggalos are fine.
There's like
juggalos are fine.
Except for that one guy who's beating up the dude in the wheelchair. That was excessive.
That's not real. That's not real. That's not real.
We're still dealing with this as a culture now in the modern day. But there are like, I think I want to hope this is falling to the wayside a little bit. And I'm saying that knowing full well that I was also a victim of this mentality during that same time period. But there is something about the mid 2000, like the bridge between, I don't know, the Obama years, whatever. The bridge between like 2008 and like 2015 or so, in which irony poisoning is so fucking prevalent. And like you said, Jeff,
ooh, that's
like
true.
All three of the groups that I mentioned are people who are sincerely into things. And, you know, there's like costuming that goes with it, the face paint, the fursuits, the whatever the fuck Burning Man enthusiasts are doing. Hard to describe in a single sentence.
Either nudity or some Mad Max shit from person to person.
But then Fury Road came out and Mad Max shit rules, actually.
Yeah,
it got cool again.
But like,
thanks, Charlie.
But like you said, it's people who are sincerely into a thing, and like, I guess irony poisoned us in 2012 was like, fuck that. You know, look at these nerds who are too into something, knowing full well that I was still super into comics at the time. You know, I was still like, ugh, but those are the outside subcultures. You know, my thing.
That's the bad kind of thing to be into. My thing is
cool. Avengers is coming out next year.
My thing is cool. Your thing is
and it
dumb.
seems like that's fading, and people nowadays are like, oh, you're into a thing? That's awesome. Seems to be the more modern stance. And as a result, we have been significantly kinder to Burning Man attendees, to furries, and to juggalos. It's weird that we've talking about the Switch. I'm not saying that this is the reason, but behind like the broad cultural shift that we're talking about. But I have to imagine, like I said, like our Antifa comrades, the juggalos, I have to imagine that, like, sure, we can make fun of these guys, but once the federal government starts making fun of these guys, like starts legally prosecuting these guys, then now we can't actually abide by that anymore.
We're done making fun of them anymore. Yeah. This is they need us now. They need us now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. The feds are involved. Shut the fuck up. Those are our friends.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's been a broad cultural shift to like that. That's why, you know, punching down in comedy is less favorable these days. You know, there's errors of sincerity. There's more progressive culture has kind of wrapped up like, well, of like, like in the same way that like it's uncool to bully queer teens on Tumblr anymore. Like, it's just like,
well, that's like kind of, it's sort of the same situation as when you have a sibling
mhm.
and you get to make fun of that sibling all the time, but then the school bully makes fun of that sibling and you're like, hold on, that's my sibling.
Yeah.
Only I am allowed to make fun of my sibling.
And
You're not allowed to do
and
that.
I don't want to equate, by the way, like queer oppression with like any of those like subculture. I'm just saying that like our society has adopted a significantly stronger live and let live standpoint.
As a queer person, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I feel like you can probably make that comparison.
All right.
With the full knowledge that those two are obviously not equal things,
Yeah.
they are comparable things.
I just, liberal and progressive society has stopped being a dick to subgroups for fun, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Correct. Yeah.
There's still a long ways to go, but like for the most part,
but we're not making fun of juggalos anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That's off the table. We're not doing that anymore.
And like, I mean, like this shouldn't be a revelation. Like literally, the standards of comedy have changed so drastically in the last like 5 years.
Which is why this was such an interesting episode to watch, because it was such a time capsule. And it was a time capsule to a time that actually is not so far removed from me that I can't remember ignorantly laughing at stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
or being not that the show is itself irredeemable or anything like that, but that like some of those jokes get close to not being super.
Yeah, but
they're pretty loose butthole.
Yeah.
They're pretty loose butthole, as Jeff said. That's a pretty loose butthole.
Hey, team, what do we interpret that to mean? Is that just like a qualifier of like chill?
Tight butthole is good.
Right, but what,
and loose butthole is not good.
But what do good and bad mean here? Does it just mean like cool, or does it mean like morally right? Like what are they?
I think it's the same as, well, what do you think, Jeff?
I don't know. I think they're just way more fun ways to say good and bad.
I agree. Like for me to say like, okay, you know how it used to be cool to say that's not very cash money of you? I feel like now you can say that's pretty loose butthole of you. And it means the same thing.
And how the teens these days say cringe.
Yeah, cringe is pretty loose butthole.
When you just said that's not very cash money of you, I just fucking time traveled.
Oh yeah, I was trying to think of an
remember
example,
the
and the
brief
only
period where white people would say that.
That's not very cash money of you, like back in like 2009 or something. I don't remember what it was.
I'm trying to remember.
It all blends together.
I'm trying to remember what my specific one would have been, and I feel like
look, it's listen, to say not cash money of you is chuggy AF, is what I will say.
I acknowledge that's something the kids say these days. I am not on TikTok as much as you are.
I acknowledge that as a noise that you just made.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it, but it is a noise.
Say, well, y'all are both chuggy AF, I'm just saying. No, I'm just kidding. You're both tight butthole.
Cringy.
What planet am I on?
I don't know what's happening.
Live from our studios. I'm trying to think what's my era. Hey, listener, if you're also 27, let me know what we said. I think I blacked it out, but let me know what we said like 10 years ago when we were like 20. I forgot.
I've definitely forgotten what I used
to
say.
Whatever we said, I know I said it a lot. I just don't fucking remember what it was.
I'm sure I did. I don't know what it was. But I think that tight butthole versus loose butthole is the equivalent of whatever time capsule weird things that we said.
Do you think
when we were of an age?
It's just like cool and uncool. Really.
Yeah, but I was wondering. Yeah, I was wondering if it was cool or uncool or like.
I just find it so weird that my neighbor says tight butthole all the time, but has never seen this show.
But like, okay, but like cringe means like embarrassing. And I didn't know if it meant like, anyway, well, whatever. Do you think we could draw like a chart from like 1950 to present day, starting with Nito, weaving through Groovy, up into
Well, yeah. I mean,
up
the
into
word
cringe.
cool has been around since like the 60s, and it is somehow stuck around. For some reason, the word cool is like the one that made it.
You know why?
That's the one that made it.
You know why?
I think I do, but you go ahead and tell
Because it's
me.
pretty cool.
I knew you were going to say that. It's fine. It's fine. It's pretty cool. It's tight butthole. All right.
What else do we want to say about this episode?
I don't think I have anything else I want to say about this episode because, to be completely honest with you, even if you were to ask me what my favorite joke of the episode was, because it's tight butthole. Like, we're already talking about it, and so thus I have nothing further to say.
You know what I'm scared about? I do have a favorite joke, by the way. You know what I'm scared about is that I'm going.
I do as well.
Oh, good. Here's what I'm scared of. I'm scared that I'm going to flip through my text messages with someone my age. Like, I'll just scroll back and I'll see that whatever word I'm afraid of uttering is something I still use to this day and don't notice. And that I don't notice it's that cringy word from 2012 or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like I used to say meta in the past.
I feel like I remember when I was on Tumblr in like 2014 and using the word hella.
Fuck, that's it.
Like, no, wait. But they repurposed it. So instead of saying that something was hella good, somebody would be like, blah, blah, this thing happened. And you just say hella. Like, they just used it as a noun.
I know.
It was so weird. It was so weird. Like, it was weird enough to be like, oh, yes, hella good, Gwen Stefani, whatever. But then people just started saying, oh, yeah, hella. Oh, or when people started using the word yeet to mean literally anything other than what it originally meant, which is also stupid in the first place, which was, like to yeet something. People started using the word yeet the way that they used to use the word hella as a noun in 2014. In like 2020-ish, I saw it all the time. Like, here's my thingy, yeet. Like,
yeah.
Why?
Uh-huh.
Why?
No, you brought it back. It's hella. It's absolutely hella. Hella was my, like, from the ages of 20 to 22.
Hella.
Yeah.
Oh, hella.
That is my yes. That is my qualifier of coolness or quality. Yeah, it's a hella good film. That movie was, yeah, hella. Yeah, sure. Hey, do you want?
Oh, hella.
Hey, do you want to go to the bar later? Yeah, hella, sure.
Yeah, hella.
That is absolutely my fucking niche generational fucking phrase from 2014 or whatever. When did I turn 21? I don't know. And I resent that you reminded me.
Well, you asked and I tried. It's fine. Okay. Anyway,
all right.
So Jeff mentioned that he has a favorite joke from this episode. So while we're talking about the episode, let's go ahead and hear that.
It is sort of the whole scene in the break room at the beginning, starting from Montez's entrance, where and this is his only appearance in the whole episode, where he walks in with a pep in his step because he got up early and had sex with his wife, and then proceeds to energetically and disgustingly just give the most aggressively gross description of that happening without actually being pornographic.
I got in that.
And it also
in that bed.
It also includes the phrase, you know what the only rule in our bedroom is? It's fuck the rules. This is Wild West, Afghanistan, Iraq, Lord of the Rings.
So I have to be honest, that was real good. That was really good. Yeah.
And then the button on the end where he leaves and Jillian just nods and goes, see, that's the kind of love I'm looking for.
That was a really beautiful moment.
It was genuinely.
That was a really beautiful moment.
It was genuinely that scene, like, encompassed in and of itself, packaged up, whatever, hella. Where I was like, oh Christ, this is a Comedy Central show. Like I was like all of a sudden, like, I just, like, when that scene happened, I had like a fucking Doctor Strange seeing through time moment where I was just like, oh right.
This is like, no, that was a great scene. I have to agree. That was quite funny. Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was really good.
And it opens with, "We got out the tarp."
We got out the tarp. That's right. I forgot about we got out the tarp. Yeah, yeah. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, I just like all of a sudden I was completely reminded of like Comedy Central aesthetic, like bundled up or whatever. Which again, like for with every show that I listed earlier of like Broad City, Eric Andre review, like all that kind of stuff, like all that kind of weird,
Sure,
like
sure.
it's a little cringe, a little hangs on too long, like oh god, all right, stop, just like that level of kind of like comedy, like all of a sudden that just like unlocked the last 20 years for me. My favorite bit, I do actually like want to mention, like I appreciated the way all three of the main, I guess, male actors like delivered their lines. Like each of them I think had a very distinct personality. Um, which I really liked, which obviously, I mean, it keeps things interesting. I don't need to explain that acting is good and that individually scripted characters are good. But like each time one of them did like a punchline, like with the little amount that I knew about this show, each of those punchlines felt like a very appropriate punchline for that character. And it wasn't just like, I guess what I'm about to describe is bad screenwriting, but it wasn't just like who gets to say the joke. Well, who hasn't said a joke in a while? That it was like, oh yeah. That feels like the logical like way that each of these tackles that situation based off of, again, the very little I know about them because it's a 21-minute episode.
Yeah.
I think that's a result of the structure of the show where they are functionally playing themselves.
Totally.
I think it lends to their characters being very distinctive, and when they do a bit, it just feels exactly like what that character would do.
Right. Absolutely. By the way, for what it's worth, speaking about like, that's just who the characters are, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I have never seen myself more perfectly represented than Anders Holmvik. As I am also a weirdly pretentious, incompetent. The scene that I loved the most was Blake Henderson, or I guess Blake Anderson. I don't know what who's the character, who's the man, hard to tell. When the guy is like, hit me with this speed limit sign, or whatever, like he kind of like hunches up a little bit, holds it like a baseball bat, and just says, "Here's one for Dad."
Oh yeah.
Before clubbing,
that's a good subtle one.
Before clubbing that guy like across the back of the skull, and just I just wasn't expecting that line. I know nothing about this character or the show. Like nothing led me to that. It was just, if comedy is expectations or whatever, then that just shattered me.
I love that he, in like with no gap in between, like he cracks that guy in the head and then immediately, oh, there's Jillian.
Yeah, moves along. I also really liked his delivery of like, so let's meet back here in a half hour, and then goes like, oh, there's a hatchet throwing contest. 3 hours. Back here in 3 hours. And I just like immediately clicked like, yes, okay, that's the over eager, over sincere, like I get this character. I don't know. I think that's something I'll say that plays to this show's strength, that like, because these are people playing maybe heightened versions of themselves, like everyone came through crystal clear personality wise. These felt fully formed characters, which especially for it sounds like it's 3 guys who live together and 3 guys who work together, who all work roughly the same job. Like that can be hard to separate, and here's what makes each of them unique. And so, the when they're all like relatively, and I mean this in like a comedy sense, when they're all of relatively the same status, their personality kind of has to work overtime to differentiate them. And I think they did a good job. Folks, this has been Syndicated with Lesley and Ben. I'm the Ben of that. You can find me online at Ben C. Hamlin. That is BenChamlin. You can check out my other podcast, Parascience, an exploration of the supernatural and unquantifiable, a horror tabletop show, every other Tuesday right here on infinitybreak.net. Lesley, where can people find you?
Oh, people can find me where they always do, at Vanetti on Twitter, Vanetti. I talk about a variety of subjects, and I am always here to be your friend. most recently, as the entire world has done, I finished watching the Loki series, so I've been talking about that quite a lot. So sorry if it loses some people, Jeff, who haven't watched it, but that's okay. That's okay.
Oh no,
That
I listened to a podcast that tells me what happened, and I
Oh, well,
don't
then
have
you're
to watch it.
fine. Oh, then you don't have to watch it. You're fine. Anyway, that's where people can find me.
And Jeff, thank you again for being a wonderful guest. Sorry we ripped up the show you brought us a little bit.
That's fine. I was just gonna turn it into an extended ad for Hell Inc. So go read Hell Inc. It is at hell.rentathugcomics.com, or you can find it on the Webtoon app if that is how you prefer to read webcomics. It is about demons who work in the office that runs hell. I am also serializing on my Patreon my next graphic novel called Hockeypocalypse Slashers. It's a YA horror story about mutants playing hockey in post-apocalypse Canada.
Very nice. Where can we find your Patreon?
Patreon.com/heatcomic. At the $5 and up level, you get 12 to 15 pages of slashers every month, on top of the normal Hell Inc. pages. And there's also some tiers where you can get art commissioned by me.
I love it.
Hell yeah. You can find us all at infinitybreak.net, where we're telling stories our own way. And you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/infinitybreak. Lesley and I recently recorded some 45, 50 minutes talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe's television shows, which are not cinematic. If anything, that would be the Marvel Syndicated universe.
Yo.
Anyway, you can, if you like Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Wanda and Vision, those are the names of the shows, and some possible theorizing about what's to come. You can check that out there, available to everyone at the $5 level. We recorded another one about the crime television shows that I've been watching, and stuff that Lesley's also been watching.
And really stupid shit that I've been watching too.
But most of it was about Breaking Bad and The Sopranos. Anyway, we're going to try to record more of those as Lesley and I watch more and more television, to just kind of keep people up with our television watching outside of just what we were watching for this show. So once again, that's patreon.com/infinitybreak. You can check out all of our work at infinitybreak.net. You can find Jeff at Heat Comic, right?
Yep, that is me on Twitter, where you will hear me mostly have very lukewarm takes on the Edmonton Oilers trading for Duncan Keith. That was for nobody who listens to this podcast,
That
probably.
is my favorite subject. My favorite
But that
topic.
is what I have been talking about recently. That and promoting the new Hockeypocalypse thing by posting art from it.
Listener, if you think that Jeff is in any way exaggerating, presently wearing a Raptors shirt. So
I am. Yeah, I'm wearing a Toronto Raptors Pascal Siakam shirt jersey because I am too hairy to wear normal basketball jerseys.
With that attitude.
Oh, boy. You can find me online at Ben Z. Hamlin, and you can find Lesley and Vanetti. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back soon with both a Dick Van Dyke episode and a 30 Rock episode. Stay tuned for both of those.